This is, oh, just a second. So there were still some things I feel like I left unsaid, because these titles are really just catchphrases, but I still felt like I didn't really do justice to the topic of diet, especially because I do have a bit of experience with which kind of diet helps me to move and to focus, and which kind of diet is more a distraction. I have a kind of, sometimes in a kind of an insane way to eat. Like if I have a goal and I want to reach that goal, and the only thing that stands between me and the goal is my appetite for large amounts of cake, then I'm going to simply eat large amounts of cake. So I'm a little bit reckless with my body, to a certain degree. So I push it when it comes to eating, I can push my body to extreme limits. What I realize, if it comes to fasting, I have a bit of a problem. But this isn't supposed to be about fasting. This is supposed to be what to eat. Because I feel like I don't know. I don't have the feeling I want to really torture myself. I feel like, I don't really like having an instructor that just stands behind you and screams in your ear. Like, that doesn't really motivate. I mean, there are people, sure, they feel really motivated if their instructor kind of punishes them. But I don't want to be punished, I think. Maybe I do, I don't know. But I want to choose my own punishment. You see, I don't like others to decide how I'm going to get punished. And so, working in this society is already punishment enough. So at least I want to do it in the best way that I can. But it certainly is a challenge. It's so shit out there. I literally have no motivation to leave the house. Not just because I want to grow on the internet, but simply because there's nothing for me out there. I've tried it all. I mean, not all, luckily. But I've tried many things. And they're all boring. You know, people ask me, don't you want to go outside sometimes? What for? If I would be living in the forest, I would go out every day. But the closest forest, like real forest, you have to walk half an hour. So it takes me half an hour to be in the forest. And that's also what I have to walk back. So it's already 1 hour just walking. Only to be in the forest. And then I'm going to walk around in the forest. And then I have to go back to wherever my apartment is. Yeah, that's one way. Then people say, why don't you go and meet people? Well, why don't you do it? I don't want to meet anyone. Because the only people you meet are people that just talk about nonsense. Oh yeah, nice weather. It's like, why do you even have to bother to say that? You know, when it's nice weather, why do you need to say it? You see? It's just this whole idea of constantly talking about nonsense because you feel insecure about yourself. So you constantly want confirmation from everybody around you. Oh yeah, it's indeed nice weather. It's like you're uncertain whether this is nice now or not. It's like, can I really like this guy? Can I follow him and watch his videos? If it's not millions of people that do it, you know, is it really okay to like him? Holy crap, man. If you like what he's doing, then just go and watch it. Yeah, but I don't want to stand out too much. Yeah, alright. This is your choice, right? Like, I don't know. You know, I never said, yeah, I really want to stand out. But I think I still did. In my own way. I never saw it like this, but I was always the way I'm now. Only now I'm a little bit more resolute on also staying like this. And so you know, I'm not too picky with food. As long as it's not meat. Like, and gluten. Yeah, I do eat spelt, right? But I also spend a lot of time figuring out if spelt works for me. It does work sometimes. Like right now, I'm not overly concerned that eating large amounts of white rice with sugar, cinnamon, cloves, anise, coconut cream, and almond milk gives me heartburn, right? I'm not overly concerned because I know my diet is a bit too acidic. So, yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm just trying to work on that. But the acid is a little bit overwhelming. So you just have to make sure you drink enough. Okay. So, what I can say to you is that I basically do whatever I can to keep going. I literally do whatever I can to simply keep going. To simply complete the mission, if you will. And right now I was like, there was a lot of potential for trauma. And so I need to heal, right? So if I would stop eating now, I would kind of fade away into some kind of really heavy depression. So instead, what I do is I just keep going. And then I feel this kind of heat rising. Whoa. Yeah, and sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming. But that's okay. You just have to know what to do, because now that's the other point. The reason I eat so much is also because I know what I want to do, right? I have my mission already. And my mission is to create content, to raise awareness, and to talk about things. You know, that's my job. To take what is available and then make something else out of it. And so, to me, if I have the choice between eating something that makes me sleepy or eating something that just keeps me awake, yeah, then I probably say, you know, it depends. But I'm not gonna eat something and then say, oh, no, I'm too tired, now I have to sleep. Alright, sometimes I do eat and then I say, okay, now I'm tired, I'm asleep. I will sleep. But if I have the feeling I want to do something instead, you know, I'll use the food to help me do that. Because I realize if I wouldn't eat now, I'd be too depressed. So I use the food to boost me over the hill, right? It's like you're cycling up the mountain and it's incredibly heavy. And just towards the end, you have the feeling, my God, you know, I'm about to collapse. And then you take some kind of energy booster. Well, that's what I do all the time. If I'm stuck, I simply boost myself. And I think a lot of people do that subconsciously already. but I'm doing it consciously. You know, when I'm stuck, I eat something to boost myself. But I also know what to eat, because I've spent a lot of time figuring out what to eat. And now I've also realized that if I only drink coffee, then the cost is too great for my body. And so I like my tea to sit and be hot, so that the extraction rate is really high. Right? I like that. And if I feel like, alright, today I want to do a bit of this, then I'll do it. And if I feel like today I need cinnamon, because that's also something, I'm just going to walk you through this. I'm going to walk us through this. Because, wow, you see my phone? I put it into a crochet sleeve. But right now I needed to look something up. Because sometimes I have a feeling about something, but I'm not 100% certain. You know, sometimes to me, I do look up things simply because I have the feeling that's what I need right now. This is sage, alright? To open my chest, it's sage. I'm just saying. Alright. Now let's see. Okay, now, yeah, now it's already getting difficult, because now I just entered spices and spiritual effects, alright? And now the question is, who do you want to listen to? I'm just gonna pick one that feels good. It says 12 powerful Ayurvedic. I have to do this cookie thing. I always turn them all off. Yeah, ad-free version. Yeah. Now I cannot read this. 10 articles. It's like, oh yeah, if you don't like what we want from you. Oh, now yeah. So you manage settings. So you don't really have a lot of they don't, on some web pages, they don't really give you a lot of options. Okay, let's just do something else, because I have a specific question and I want to know what cinnamon does. Cinnamon, energetic, Veda. Let's just see what comes up. Now it says 8 benefits of cinnamon. I know it has something with warming the heart, right? It has a lot of heat. So on a cold day when you feel like, ugh, you can use cinnamon to boost yourself. But if you have too much heat, then it's also toxic again. Because if you have too much heat in the body, then what does it mean? Then you're gonna get heartburn. So you can assist the body of helping your spirit to fulfill its purpose with the food that you eat. Because often when we are in a depression, it's often that we're far away from our heart's purpose. So yeah, if we feel like something's really missing, then we have to collect our marbles. So, alright, cinnamon. Yeah, tea, coffee. Alright. Okay. Helps with digestion. As cinnamon is a warm spice that perfectly combines the sweet, pungent, and spicy flavors, it can work wonders in improving your digestive system. It pacifies kapha, which is earth, and can also bring balance to vata. Now vata is that water, or water and air, because I think kapha is earth and fire. I think it's always 2 elements that are dominant within these doshas. You can smoothen up your digestion by sprinkling this spice on top of your rice and vegetables. So when I eat it, I just eat a lot of it. I don't know, everything I do, I just take a lot of it. Potent antioxidant. You see, this is now not really energetic. Fighting UC, you can translate this, however, into spiritual terms. With the help of the compound, this compound, cinnamon can help in repairing damaged tissues, fighting infections, and tackling chronic conditions like stroke, diabetes, and cancer head-on. You know what I read in this is it helps to activate the healing abilities of the body. Because the body can heal itself when the spirit is doing what the spirit is supposed to be doing. So when your focus is on healing, you can heal. You can eat cinnamon and it probably won't do a lot unless you really want to eat it for health purposes. So if you eat a cinnamon buns, then clearly the cinnamon is going to be outbalanced or outweighed by the negative effects that the bun itself has on you, and all the sugar and the way it's been made and the dough. Like, all of this is very toxic, so the cinnamon won't really do you a lot of good. Yeah, clearing respiratory passages, promotes heart health. You see, this is all, I don't like this. That's why often I don't like these. Oh wow, now it's the best Ayurvedic remedies to treat insomnia. So there's a lot you can do with diet. So when you're depressed, what I generally say to people, but of course, first of all, the person has to accept that they have a depression. Because if you're not willing to accept that you have a depression, then you cannot heal, right? And it takes a lot of courage to admit to yourself that you actually are depressed and that you want to change something. Because most people that I meet, they're just really busy saying, yeah, I'm doing really well. Okay, now it says of cinnamon. Energy is hot, certainly. Yeah, increases digestive fire, burns toxins, reduces fever, treats candida. Even for menstrual irregularities. You see, I don't know a lot of these things. When they say this is for that, this is for this, I don't believe in such things. I think there are things that help, such as if you're catching a cold, then what can assist you with that is really strong ginger tea, right? So reading these things might help you, but I also find it really confusing because there's just too much stuff out there, too many opinions, too many recipes. And in order to know whether something helps you with your menstrual cycle, you probably also have to get rid of a lot of other things that you're doing. So you may think, oh wow, if I do this, then suddenly I'm going to be healthy. But the truth is that the reason your menstrual cycle is out of balance is probably that your whole body is full with toxins and that your whole chakra system is completely out of order. Which means you have to do a lot more than to just eat cinnamon in a certain way. Yeah? That's the way I see it. So you have to do a lot. A lot of other things as well. And most of the healing that I'm talking about is emotional. So diet is only there to assist you to get these emotions to the surface is what it is about. Because you want to feel the source of your depression, right? You want to feel what causes the depression. You want to know what is blocking your energy. And for that you need to be awake. Sometimes. Right? In order to, I'm just sometimes checking how many artworks I have made with all of these emotions that I find just lying around. And it's a lot of it. It's a lot of it. It's a lot of emotions. And right now it's all a bit hazy. So right now everything's kind of chaotic because I'm in the middle of feeling them all. And so sometimes I just leave the creativity to a bit later, because if I would create content now, it just would be really angry. It would be really angry. And so I simply relax into it. Because I've created so much stuff already, I'll just say, let them sort it out for themselves, right? Here it says, you see, this is a page I like. It says, Marble Crow Blog. Sometimes there are pages that aren't really popular. And that's often the best ones. Sometimes you find really, really nice pages. I don't know if it's a really good one. I just want to check it. Nobody forces people to use cookies, do they? Okay. When I was in college, one of my lab partners was a beautiful girl whose family was from Yemen. She was always dressed very conservatively, low fashionably. but beneath her impeccably neat, studious exterior, she was warm, kind, and funny as hell. You see, it's actually very beneficial to dress yourself in a way that people cannot see your physical body, because you don't want to have all this greed hammered your way, right? So women that wear cleavages in this society, it's just their own fault. If men come to look at them, they could just dress up properly. But they're of course greedy for that as well. Hey, what had happened now? Oh. So you see, this is how... Why did he have to put that in there? I don't like these blogs. Just get straight to the point. Blah, blah. Yeah, okay, it says love potion. Now it says, since it's a Mars herb, it's also useful for protection. However, unlike the harsh heat of an ingredient like cayenne, cardamom is much softer and gentler. An iron fist in a velvet glove. Yeah, in some areas of Asia and Africa, it was used as an aphrodisiac. So if I am low on energy, because cardamom is said to have a calming, uplifting effect on mood. It relaxes the body and stimulates the mind. And that's why it's also good in combination with coffee. Whereas coffee, of course, should be reduced to almost never. Yeah, so you can add it to soups, stews, or rice, all kinds of things. Yeah. So it also lifts the sexual desire. But anybody who knows anything about energy transmutation would then also know that sexual energy can be used for anything. Which means if you eat cardamom and then you get horny, you can use that to work out. So energy starts building up, and then instead of masturbating, which means it would be gone, you do push-ups. Yeah, and if you're still horny after that, I don't know, do squats or something. But I find that very hard to transition, because why? It seems like masturbation is like short-term pleasure, right? It's like, oh yeah, but the cost is very high, because it will bring you further into a depression. Whereas physical exercise may look like, you know, it's tedious, it's a lot of work, it's effort, it shows you how weak you are, you know, all of these things. But on the long run, it's of course much more beneficial, because you're going to be stronger. So your mind is stronger. And if you keep replacing it, like physical exercise, with pornography and masturbation, then suddenly your body and your mind are going to become much stronger. And for the rest of your life, you're going to benefit from that. Because if you can sit like this with no problem at all and no lack of strength, you can actually maintain that for the rest of your life. This is what you see with all these yogis in India. They're incredibly vital, even at an advanced age. And some of them get up to an age of more than 100 years, but you, of course, you never hear about these people here because they want to keep that quiet. Plus, India also has been infested with greed, right? So, now another spice which I would like to talk about is nutmeg. So cardamom, nutmeg, and cinnamon are three of the main tools that I use when I'm really low on energy. And sometimes I use a lot of them, but you have to make your own experiences. I don't know what's healthy for you. Like I said, I'm sometimes a bit irresponsible. You know, I keep eating this food even though I already have heartburn. I just keep eating it. Yeah, but then I drink tea. So it's like, you know, you make fire and then you cool the fire. But the heat then is there, alright? Because if I'm really cold, then I first have to get the fire going. So first the energy has to start flowing. So I've been through some emotional things now. I also masturbated. And now I'm reset again, right? Now I'm back in the place where I said, no masturbation, keep going. It's maybe my final attempt, who knows? Yeah, okay. Nutmeg. It's also sometimes interesting to see how these things are growing actually. Okay. Okay, first of all, what I know, yeah, I'm just gonna keep moving. I don't have to prove that I know this because I don't know everything. Okay, I don't care about everything it says here. It says something about money and stuff. It says about rheumatism. Nutmeg can make you trip balls. This is not code language. This spice is a hallucinogen. Hallucinogens to me are non-existent. This is a word that implies that you see things that aren't real. Everything I see is real. When I close my eyes, I see things even without eating anything. What some people call hallucinogenic, right? So a coffee is hallucinogenic in that sense because it makes life seem really stressful and fast, right? And you have the feeling you're running out of time. That's what coffee does. And people don't think that's a bad thing, right? Because it helps them to destroy the planet or the globe or the earth even faster. But mostly of all themselves. Because some people, they're so afraid of death that they're actually running right into the arms of it. Because fear will chase you through life if you don't manage to stand your ground. Courtesy of a compound known as myristicin. Yeah, the question is how much do you have to take? Yeah, you see, unfortunately you have to consume a lot to feel the effects, at which point you're putting yourself at risk of nutmeg poisoning. A lot is relative here, about 10 grams. 2 or so teaspoons of ground nutmeg is about to trigger symptoms of toxicity. Yeah, I've eaten more than that. And I cannot say that I felt toxic. It helps me to boost through certain things. But yeah, I have to say, you have to be careful with it. because I do my own research. And to me, nutmeg, I have eaten a lot of nutmeg. And I know that if you have erectile problems, that in India it used to be a remedy to drink milk with a whole ground nutmeg. And that's probably 4 teaspoons. Now here they say that's already toxic. What's toxic? Yes, some people say ayahuasca is toxic. So all I can say is you have to make up your own mind, right? Yeah, people don't seem to have a problem to drink large quantities of alcohol and then start vomiting. But if you say that you went to an ayahuasca ceremony and that people vomited, they say, well, that's weird. Well, that's what children are doing every Saturday night. That's what I have been doing from the age of 16. When I went to parties, I just drank so much alcohol until I vomited. But if you say to them, I did this with ayahuasca, and I had visions of such beauty, it's hard to explain with words because it came to me through the language of emotion. Then people say, well, that's weird. You know, then they say, yeah, but everybody dresses in white. Yeah, like it's a pure color, right? That's the purpose of dressing in white. It's like connects you to spirit. And then on the other side, it's like, you know, oh yeah, when I was 18, I got really drunk and I vomited. Yeah, me too. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is this kind of world we live in. It's completely controversial. Nobody makes sense anymore. You go to people, you say, yeah, I ate a lot of nutmeg. And then I did some ecstatic dance. And then people say, oh, it sounds like you're tripping. Yeah, what are you doing when you eating cinnamon buns? Yeah, you're tripping, only you're not dancing. What do you think happens when you drink coffee? You're tripping, man. Don't you think that's tripping? Like, what do you think drinking coffee does? You're just tripping all the time. At least I'm trying to work for it. No, at least I'm trying to use these things how they were meant to be used. Because whatever you eat is not meant to just sit down and let it do its thing. Yeah, okay, maybe if you go to an ayahuasca ceremony, but you still have to be active in some way. Like, you know, it's not great fun to vomit through the suffering of your childhood. It's not great fun to do that. I've never done that with alcohol. All I did was vomit and everything was turning. Whereas with ayahuasca, everything was clear. I was crystal clear the first time on ayahuasca. And that took me a couple of sessions to get used to that. And then people say that's weird. So what's weird, right? And it's not guaranteed that you're gonna work through your shit by doing exactly what maybe people like me did, right? You have to find your own way. It says using nutmeg, blah, 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 right? So it is, you could also use nutmeg for meditation. I wouldn't rely on it to induce a trance state, but drinking some warm milk flavored with honey and nutmeg can be a pleasant way to begin some meditative or journeying work. Yeah. So like anything, right? It's just stick with whatever works for you. Now here it says also best Ayurvedic remedy is to treat insomnia. Well, one is, for instance, you know, people that complain that they cannot sleep. Well, then work for it. If you can't sleep, then maybe there are things that you should be doing instead. So start figuring out what's keeping you awake. You know, some people, they just think I have to sleep every single night. Why? If you don't want to sleep, then don't sleep. You know, sometimes I like it to push through a whole night, but I also feel like I have to prepare myself for this a little. Oh man, no, sometimes I say these things and I feel obliged to do them. It's like, man. Yeah, that's the challenge, right? That's the mind of a warrior, maybe, right? That you say, okay, I'm gonna rise to the challenge. Alright, so the point is, there is no point. Well, there is in a way. And the point is, you have to really figure out what works for you. I gave you now some spices that you can work with. And a great way to do that, for example, maybe you've heard of ceremonial cacao, right? It's raw cacao. You can get that sometimes if you're living in a big city. Sometimes you find it there. I found it once in Amsterdam. Or maybe you can find it on the internet. You know, in Germany there are pages like Heart Solution is one of them, or Good Mood Food, but that's Germany, right? So wherever you are, you can look up pages ceremonial cacao, and then you just pick the one that you like the most. Generally, how much does it cost? 500 grams, maybe 30 to 40 euros or something. There's also cheaper ones where you buy a 1 kilo package. Let's just check this. Yeah, sometimes you just find pages. Oh my. Alright. Nah, why? Nah. I just want to tell you how much the prices roughly are. Alright. Okay, that's a package. That's something else. Yeah, so what I'm looking for is something. Sometimes this cacao comes in drops. It's like round pellets. Sometimes it comes in a whole block. So there's all kinds of different ways that it comes in. Oh wow. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, raw cacao, ritual cacao, raw cacao, right? Or you can even buy the beans. You can buy nibs, powder, drinking chocolate. So what I usually go for is mass and drops. I don't need the beans. You just want something that's like already put into kind of a shape. Oh wow, here's one. They used to sell also 1 kilo. Oh, there it is. 1 kilo is 50 euros. But that's the one from Bali. And there's another one from Ecuador that's also roughly 50. But then if you buy smaller packages like 500 grams, that's like 30. Like I said, it's like roughly somewhere around that. Wow. I don't know what this is. Because this is also 1 kilo, but it's 32. Which is interesting. Yeah, so ultimately you have to just figure out what works for you. But this is like, this can really boost your mood. But also if you do this too much, like doing it every day, for me, I realized I also get a lot of heartburn. So this is just something to boost you out of the depression, but then you also have to use it, right? So my goal was always, I boost myself out of the depression by eating milk rice with spices, and then I use that to work out. Now I use it to give you a speech, right? I started doing more like, just like this. Yeah, this strengthens your body. Yeah, you can try holding that for 5 minutes. Now, I'm still working up to it. Of course, this, I mean, like a straight plank with extended arms. Right now, because that's the problem when you eat too much. It also makes you weak at the same time. Yeah, so it may give you strength, but it also weakens you. So I can drink coffee for a while and it's going to help me, but the cost after a while is too big. So it would be better to stop drinking it and to start training your body instead. Because otherwise it's just going to be another addiction, right? And that's what my goal is. You know, I want to be free. I want to free myself from all these things that trap me into addictions. I want to free myself from these things. And that means I have to learn to let go of them. And that's incredibly difficult. Well, the best way to let go of coffee is to simply not have it at home. To simply say, I won't buy it, and I will put everything that I relate with coffee into a box and put it into the cellar. You know, you don't have to throw it all away, but you can simply put it out of sight for a month and just see how you feel then, because most of us, they have it at home and we drink it all the time. And that's just really bad. Because if you're just casually drinking it, I mean, like I said, in Ethiopia, this is a ritual where the whole tribe comes together, the whole community comes together, and they roast the coffee and then they drink it together. That's a ceremony. They don't do it alone. But yeah, if you don't have a tribe yet, but you want to get there, and you say, okay, where am I at now? I'm very vulnerable, I'm very depressed. If I go to be with people, then I feel angry and I feel unloved. So one way of dealing with that is simply to learn to accept yourself. This is how I am. And then you have a direction. Because if you're simply depressed and you hate yourself and you feel ashamed of who you are, well, then you can't stay alone and work with that by starting to be creative. But you don't do that to shut yourself out from everyone. You do that to open up to yourself so that when you go to people, you can actually realize, wow, I've changed. And that's usually how it is with me. I spend a lot of time in solitude because I felt like I need that. And then people think it's weird. And then they start worrying about me. And then I say, yeah, I'm not worried. You know, I'm doing it because I want to. You know, nobody's forcing me. But, you know, why should I leave the house? Who should I speak to here? There's nobody I want to speak to here. You know, I want to speak to people who want to change something in their lives. And not to people who want to hold on to it. So I have to change something first, right? Because the journey starts with me. I cannot wait for... Whoa. I don't know what I did here, but somehow I did something. You know, that's a very weird thing if suddenly you're doing things automatically. Because you've practiced something else for a while. I haven't done this in a while. And what's a while, right? To me, one day is a while already. Because so much happens in one day. When you're alone in your room, it's like the whole world can change in one day. Alright, and so that's how your method works. So you have to start training those methods. You have to start training these things. And when you're used to eating food, then it might be you see, that's the problem I have at the moment. I'm a little bit short on money. So buying something like this feels like, yeah, sure, I can do this. But at the same time, maybe that's not really what I need right now. I don't know. Because, you know, that's the problem, right? You don't know what's around the corner. There might be anything. I don't know, man. And then how much, right? Say 1 kilo. And how much money do you have? Right, I have like 60 euros on my account. It's basically gone when I buy this. Is that smart? You know, I feel like I'm dead inside. You know, I'm not joking. I feel like, you know, I've just had millions of daggers placed into my heart. They're all jamming it in. They're all jamming it in. So something has to... I need something. I feel like I need something to lift me. And just eating this food that I've been eating just isn't enough. And what's money, right? I mean, yeah, so what happens if my accounts stop? You know, if I don't have money anymore, and then what happens? Yeah, I don't have to pay money for YouTube. I don't have to pay money for my music. At least not yet. I don't have to pay money for what else? Yeah, my website maybe, but all the content that's on my website is everywhere else as well. I made sure of that. So I'm prepared, you see. You know, if it really comes to that, I can just cancel these websites. If it really should come to that, you know, I'm not really depending on them. So I can keep going without. Although I do like the idea of having a website, but at the same time, it's also annoying because I have to, you know, I'm not really doing anything on there anymore. I'm not updating anything. It's just sitting around there. And in a certain way, I'd probably love to let go of it. So, you know, the kind of like smart way in terms of how much money do I have would probably be, yeah, I don't have money to buy ceremonial cacao now because I only have 60 euros. And if I buy that, yeah, but I don't know what's around the corner, right? Maybe me buying that, because that's the money I have, right? I actually have enough to do it. I have enough to do it. So why don't I do it? If I have the money to do something now that can help me, why don't I do it? You see, it's just money. It's supposed to help you to live. It's not supposed to pile up for your retirement. I mean, you have to make an investment. And if you can't invest in your own health, in your life, and of course the problem is if you've never done a cacao ceremony. But now we're coming to the interesting point. Because I'm probably going to do that with you. So, I don't have much hopes that a lot of people are watching this. I don't know, right? But that's still what I can do, right? I can say, hey, let's have a cacao ceremony. It's a possibility. I've never done it, but I know how to do it. So there you go, right? Instead of doing it just alone and being selfish, I can just open a room, do a cacao ceremony, and then see whatever wants to come out, right? I can try and dance with it, because if I eat, it's like too heavy. But cacao is like you drink it, gives you a lot of energy, warms your heart, and maybe it helps you to just transition through the phase. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes these decisions are very insane, are very weird. Sometimes I get these ideas and then, yeah, am I really this? Yeah, but who's talking? Like, who's thinking all these thoughts? Instead you could just do it and then see what happens. I mean, I doubt it that very many people are in the position that I'm in, where you really only have 60 euros on your account. But what's the money for then? For me, I don't have to cling to it. What have I got to lose? Nothing. I've got nothing to lose. I've got everything to gain. Yeah. I have no woman that wants to be with me. Yeah, I have no child. I have no nothing. So what do I have to lose? Nothing. Because I've got nothing. So I cannot lose anything anymore. Right? But I can win something. And that's myself. And the dignity back. That money doesn't control me, right? It's not controlling me through my fear and say, for all my life I wanted to travel to India or something, right? And I always thought it's too expensive. But here I am and I have all this money and I have a house and whatever. There's people that just sell their house, that just quit their job, and then they just live on their savings for a while. And then you just find another job. I mean, you can find any job that you like to do. You can work in a hostel. I don't know. If you can cook, you can try to find work as a chef. Now this sounds very romantic also. But so it's probably smart to just plan this a little. How much money do you have? How long can this keep you going? Where are you going to live? So a bit of planning is probably necessary, because if you don't plan this, then you're just going to quit your job and you're going to say, fuck you all, I'm free now. And then you're going to realize, holy shit, what am I going to do next? So sometimes it's the situation that makes us depressed, because we're constantly holding back on doing what we actually want. So if you all your life wanted to travel for half a year and just see where it's going to get you, well, then start planning it. Just start thinking about it. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Maybe you want to, I don't know, just live somewhere in a forest cabin for some time. To just figure your shit out. to just write everything down that's inside of you, or to record it. I don't know what you do. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you should just go somewhere else where there's less distraction, and then leave your home, your phone on flight mode. Yeah, and just only focus on yourself. That's roughly what I can tell. But I don't have money, right? So I don't have that kind of luxury at the moment. I just stay in my room. That's my silent retreat. Nobody calls me, right? I can have my phone on loud. Nobody calls me anyway. I made sure of that. You know, people are scared of me. Can't help it. You know, because I just say what I want. And they don't like that. And they know that. I mean, it's not just that they're afraid of me. But also, I mean, I'm quite a challenge to be around with. Because I'm easygoing. And I have created a lot of stuff. So other people, they feel intimidated by who I am. And then they try to act like, you know, they're bigger than me. Who are you talking to, man? I mean, I've earned this. You get that? I've earned it because I put in the work. This didn't just come from nothing. This is hours standing behind the laptop and working like hell. You know, drinking one coffee after another. As soon as I got depressed, I would just drink another coffee with lots of sugar in it. You know, my body was on fire. I was burning. I was burning on the inside. And then at some point I would just crash and sleep. But at least I got the book done. Yeah, at least I finished the work. And right now I'm holding back a little. I'm holding back a little because I feel a bit, something's missing. And maybe that something could be the cacao. It's not that. I know it. You know what is missing is a woman that I can love, right? What's missing is a woman that loves me, that I spend time with. You know, somebody that fills my heart with joy. You know, that is what is missing. But I can replace it with cacao for a while. Because right now I'm still in this place where I will stay until I found a way out. And that's why I feel fairly certain that after this recording is over, I'm going to order. Okay, I'm gonna do it now. You know, I'm gonna do it now. Because we're in such a good mood. You know, let's just do this together. Because it feels a little bit stupid, but at the same time, I also feel a little bit positive about this. And sometimes you need a little bit of help. And, you know, at least I caught somebody watching this, and I can say, hello, you! Now you're gonna turn off the stream because you said, oh, damn it, he knows I'm watching. Yeah. You know, I can't help it that people are super afraid of me. Oh, yeah. I really can't help it. You know, it's really their problem. The truth is a scary place. Yeah, sometimes people come into this and they say, no, I'm gonna watch this for 20 seconds and that's all I can bear because I'm so afraid of what he might say. Yeah. And then they're gone. It's like 50 seconds. Whoop. Okay. You know, I'm really that scary. Yeah, it's like Scary Terry. Oh yeah. My plastic poncho. Alright, so what I said I will do now, because I don't know who's watching. All I can say to you is you just missed all the part about diet. Wow, I have really bad heartburn. Well, that's okay. You see, now he left. It's like, damn it! You know, he was talking directly to me. And then he leaves. Yeah, that's the story of my life. If people feel like I'm just gonna make a joke about this. Just in general. I mean, it's really funny how scared people are. How scared people are. And that's the nice thing about YouTube. It's actually, you know, you're making a stream and it's recording it. Alright, so now I'm on that web page. So that's based in Germany, and they're called goodmood-food.de. I'm just saying that because I like them. Oh, they even have something on sale. Sometimes I like to check that as well. Alright. Okay. Yeah, now it crashed. So the question is, why did that crash now? Right? Sometimes the question is, am I supposed to do this? But that's also something I realize sometimes when I want to do something, I'm hitting a barrier. I'm hitting a barrier of, are you sure you want to do this? And then you either do it or you let whatever is trying to keep you from doing it. Because it sounds ridiculous, but this to me is actually a crazy trust exercise. Because if you have nothing, or you only have 60 euros and you invest that, you don't know what's gonna happen, right? So it might be that there's actually a cost to it. But I also feel like this is much better for me. To me, this is much better than drinking coffee at this point, because coffee is just really empty, right? It's like really empty, and ceremonial cacao is a bit of a different story. So it's also right now, it's a little bit hard for me to focus on this. Because if you're doing several things at once. So here's, yeah, okay. I just want to see what they have on. Yeah. So there is nothing really for me on. Yeah, first I have to check my bank account, of course. You see, why is it not? You know, it's sending this, but YouTube sometimes says it's not. Yeah. So sometimes, right, I just check my bank. And every time I check it, it's like, yeah, it's quite empty. I mean, you knew that when you checked it. And you see, yeah, it's still really empty. But as soon as there's money on it, I just use it for something. I'm like always scratching the surface. But sometimes I'm also still hoping, you know, maybe, because I also have to pay my bank account. So maybe I should just keep that money. It's so stupid. It's really the one thing I really hate is money. I really don't like money. It's not, I can't say I hate it, But what I don't like about it is simply the fact that everybody's so obsessed about it. So all I can say is, right, you know, I'm just talking to you from a place of financially, I've got nothing, but I'm probably still in a better mood than most people that have money on their bank account. Now I have 67.59 euros, and I've been doing this kind of job for 2 years. I live in the room my parents provide me, they buy the food, and I can choose from that. Occasionally, at the age of 34, they send me money for my birthday or for Christmas, and then I use that to buy spiritual tools that help me to move on. Yeah, sometimes I bought rapé, which is an Amazonian snuff that you shoot into your nose for energetic cleansing. But you know, if you do that all the time, you're getting really addicted. Like at one point you simply have to change your methods. And I feel like I'm now at that point where I simply change the method of drinking coffee and just change it, and I drink cacao. Is that smart? I don't know. What is smart? Whatever helps you to survive, right? Oh wow, what's this? Oh wow, come on. I didn't see that one. This one is from Peru. And it's 35. But I first wanted to have another one. Right? I saw the one from Bali. Because I don't want to go for cheap, right? Oh my god. You see, it's like, okay. Sometimes it's really the question of who are you listening to? Sometimes it's really the question, like, who are you listening to? All right. And that is always a fair challenge. But I've tried, you know, I'm trying to push through this. I'm really trying, but it's just not working the way I thought it would. And maybe sometimes it's better to just go for one. See, then it's important to ask yourself, what do you really want? Because right now I also feel a little bit, I want to go to the toilet. Is that like my motivation? And then you say, to hell with it. To hell with it. You just say, let's go to the pay thing. Yeah. Because I'm rather doing this, yeah? I'm rather doing this. And I'm also not going to send this to anyone. Because sometimes I want to send this to someone, but actually I just want to give it to myself. Because I'm the one that needs help at the moment. And I don't know anybody who can help me but myself. Yeah? And this is actually for my business, so that I can continue working. I already have a customer account, right? I just did that. All right. Okay. Yeah, whoever is watching this, you know, this is like, I'm just doing my thing, okay? You know, you missed all the previous part, you know, I can't help that. I'm just in the process of ordering ceremonial cacao for my helping myself with opening up to what I'm doing, opening up to myself. All right, now I did this. Now I say, let's buy. You know, that's like an investment. 60 euros into food. That's the amount of money that I have. What is this? It's like sometimes really weird what they want from me. Always want your number. They want some kind of code. Yeah. What do you mean? Like, they didn't used to do it like this. You know, every time I order something, I'm telling you, I'm just what? What is this shit? That's not really what I thought it was. Yeah. No, I'm not really interested in saying anything really meaningful at the moment, right? I mean, you people can just get used to seeing me live so that you can stop shitting your pants, because this is really what this is about. Like, the only reason I keep coming online is so that people can stop shitting their pants, because that's really what it's about. You know, I'm just saying that because it is that way. Huh? And as soon as I say that, that's the other really interesting thing. What is this? It's like, how far are you willing to go for security, right? Like, how far are you going to go to keep things safe? Okay, now I did this. And now what? Okay. You know, step number 28 on the journey of ordering ceremonial cacao. It's like, do this. And now also do this. And do this. Enter this code. You know, it's really safe now. We need your phone number. Yeah, probably to track me. It's like, yeah, we just have to find a reason. We're just gonna say, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be for your own benefit. What is this? It's like living this whole society. It's just so complicated. Then barking dogs aren't really helping. Just please be quiet. what is this? I mean, they don't even know who they're talking to. Sometimes I'm really confused. Like, which account even? Oh, now we need your birthday. Oh, now we're getting there. It's like, oh wow. Sell your soul to the highest bidder. I have to think. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's really boring for you. But if that's boring, then you probably have nothing else to do anyway. So, I mean, there's people watching other people that study. So you can watch me doing a once-in-a-lifetime shopping experience. Yeah. I think I'm about to do that. Accept. Oh yeah. Just want to see. Oh wow, somebody's still watching. You're the most courageous person. You're the most courageous person I have seen here yet. You know, you're watching this for the longest time of anyone. And I don't know if you're still the same guy, right? And let's see if as soon as I said that, you just gotta turn it off again. It's like, well... Yeah. Accept. Approval code. Well, yeah, I'm telling you, I mean, spirituality isn't just about, you know, oh yeah, I want to be enlightened. You have to deal with the fear of everybody you live with. I mean, what I'm doing in my life is scaring my entire family. And they just want to blame me for that. So, right, some of the choices that I've made were like hell for my parents. Even my siblings. Yeah, like my brother, he kind of hates me because, you know, he doesn't understand me. Yeah, I talk to him, all I say is to him is just like gibberish. Yeah, I can't help that. So my choice is, you know, I just stop talking to you. And that's just a very conscious and honest choice when I say, yeah, sure, I have 60 euros on my account and I just bought ceremonial cacao with it. Because that's how I connect with myself, right? So I see people that just drink coffee all day and they just get emptier and emptier. Yeah. At least I know when I hit the brake and then I say, okay, I want to do something else now. And so diet is really about figuring out what works for you, but also just looking at what is available already. Like what is available and what can you do else? So all I can say is in the Book of Fear, I've talked about diet, but also on my podcast, there are probably some episodes out there where I've already talked about diet. You know, cleansing is probably one of them. Just want to check. So if you go to my website, christopher-reusch.com, and then you go to podcast, and then you scroll a little down, and then it says, there's like the, hi, my name is Christopher, blah, 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 and then it goes a little further down, and it says, an overview of all episodes can be found under the following link. Click on this. Now what I have to say is not all of these episodes are already out there, but at least until 2022 they are. And every week there's a new one. I already recorded this, so let's just go through this. So now there's a list with episodes and I've numbered them. It's like about choice. Of course, this is all like, you know, this is just when I started. I started, so as you can see, I think it was February 2021. I asked for a microphone for my birthday and I started recording like a maniac. And I just said everything that I wanted to talk about. And I just want to see if there's something about diet. So there's certainly, yeah, this is when I wrote the book. So I first started with that. Diet. Okay, there's also one about godly substances. Which is psychedelics. Yeah, there are some interesting episodes in there. I don't know how it is for someone who hasn't recorded it, but I just know that I've talked a lot. Wow, what is this? 2000. Oh, wow. Manly Man, this is already over. Stately Dilemma, bonus. Yeah, I don't see a lot about diet. Dietary Insight. Yeah, it started. I think that was the one, How Much is Too Much. That's one of the newer episodes of 2023 already. It's episode number 178. It's called Dietary Insight, How Much is Too Much. And then comes Why Do We Eat So Much? And then Is Vegan Better? What to Eat and When to Eat. But I recorded them. So I first recorded the first half and then the second half. So I recorded all 52 episodes of the entire year, and then I divided them into 26 each. And then I started to release it, so every other week. Yeah, it's the follow-up episode every other week only. But every week there's still an episode. Yeah, it sounds really complicated. But anyway, if you would go to my podcast, there is this How Much is Too Much. And maybe I can check it out. I'm just trying to make this as easy as possible for myself. So now we're at running out of options, pushing through. Wow, where did this come from? Running out of option. Oh yeah, looking for scraps, pushing through. So you see, it's like running out of options starts with looking for scraps. Yeah. And then the next week would be something else, right? It would then be Dietary Insight, How Much is Too Much. And then comes again, running out of options, pushing through. So it's like jumping. Anyway, I like the idea. Don't have to explain this. Okay, in terms of Dietary Insight, we're already further than I thought. We are. I am. So 178 is the first one of Dietary Insight. And we're now at 181. All right. And that means there's already How Much is Too Much, Why Do We Eat So Much, Is Vegan Better, and What to Eat. So if you're interested in just listening to something about diet, then feel free and just knock yourself out. That should give you like a couple of hours to listen to something. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I had to say. You know, it's sometimes really disappointing if you hear that somebody's, you know, if you're talking and somebody's there, and then you go back, and that person is gone. It's like, sometimes, you know, I just want to help. Why don't you want my help? Yeah, and now I have to digest the fist of fear that I again have no money at all on my account. And now the voice says, well, that's what it's for, right? It's something that you should invest. If I feel like I'm stuck, then I have to do something. But I cannot deny that it puts me in a very delicate position every single time. Because money has a lot to do with fear and existence in this society. You know, you're basically non-existent to a lot of people if you don't have money. And I can't ask for it. So whatever people give me, that's what they give me. Isn't that very smart? Sounds like it. Anyway, all I can say at this point is thank you for listening. And ask for it. So whatever people give me, that's what they give me. Isn't that very smart? Sounds like it. Anyway, all I... Yeah, it's like the very saintly version of I'm desperate to move on.